What's up? This is Malice 10 coming to you with another video. So, I'm on YouTube and everywhere I'm seeing all these pop-ups about R. Kelly. R. Kelly this, R. Kelly that. I know I said that in the other video, but it's getting ridiculous now. Very ridiculous. So, I looked at a post, well, not a post, video by a certain YouTuber named Layla Lynn. If you don't know, the video will be in a link below. But she she entitled her video, "R. Kelly uses women pee for voodoo spells." Yeah, yeah. I was like, really? Really? It's getting ridiculous now. So she claimed that she got her source from a book that one of R. Kelly's supposed, alleged victims. You know how I feel about calling them victims because I don't believe that they are victims. But it's a book named Sex Me, Confessions of Daddy's Little Freak. So what's crazy about this is the author is anonymous. So they say it's an anonymous sex slave, speaks of R. Kelly's since she was 4 years old. As she grew, she would take magazines images of the R&B king and take them to her pillow. So apparently, if this is a true source, this young girl had problems already, obsessive issues, fantasizing over a superstar. So they said she was four, 4 years old. Thing is, what's she doing listening to that music at 4 anyway? The parents must be bad, especially letting their kids listen to a person who's highly sexual in his songs to be listening to him at 4 years old. But that's when she was four. And they said as she grew, she would take magazines with R. Kelly images, cut them out, and put them on her pillow. Tell me that doesn't sound psychotic to you. I mean, I've heard of girls back in the day, especially when Nelly came out, that they was taking, cutting his posters out and everything and posting them on the wall. Like B2K, they used to do that back in the day when they first came out. And way back in the day, they used to have Jodeci posted on their wall. And what's the other dude named Bobby Brown? So that's not uncommon for young teenage girls to do that. But you actually posting them on your pillow, wishing you was with them, sounds psychotic. Note that this is an anonymous person. So there's no telling that this source is true or not. But apparently she was obsessing with him. And when the author finally got to meet her hero, she called him a hero. That's what's wrong with these little kids now. They think that all these singers and everything is their hero and role models. It's dumb. She describes an encounter that took many machine machinations to undergo. The then supposed 20-year-old, she was 20 at this time, described scoring concert and VIP tickets to meet the superstar. So now that she's 20, she's finally getting to meet her idol. So it goes on to say, and playing hard to gain his attention. Apparently, he wasn't playing hard to get that hard. But come on, you was obsessing over this dude since 4 years old. Four. So you trying to say you was playing hard to get? No. And then it says, however, later in the book, she admitted to sitting on Daddy, which is R. Kelly's lap, and confessing she was only 16. So she said she was 20, lied about her age, what a lot of girls do to get with older guys to make it seem like they're mature enough. So she tells him that she's only 16. So throughout the book is basically describing her experience with R. Kelly. So Layla Lynn, the YouTuber, she quoted in the book. Well, in the book, Layla Lynn read some of the stuff out of there, and basically said the girl said that R. Kelly was using their pee to control them, and she claimed that they was chatting and doing voodoo. Really? Really? So, what a lot of people don't know, voodoo is what you put in the world is what you get out. So, it's almost like karma. So, if you put negative energy in the world, you'll get negative energy back. If you put positive energy in the world, you'll get positive energy back. Vice versa. It's like a circle. So that's what voodoo is. It's not about all these trinkets and using pee for voodoo and stuff like that. No. So I guess she's a Christian, and I don't fault nobody's religion, but she's using religion as a basis of basically saying that people should get saved and stuff like that. No, no. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what R. Kelly used to talk to these females and recruit them. So I don't know if any of you guys know about psychology, but that's all he used was psychology. So there's a system out there called the 8 steps of indoctrination. So it's something that cults, which you got to understand the meaning of cult. And I'm going to post it on the screen also so you can see. Cult is an organization that you adopt their belief system. So you have a mass following that adopts your religious beliefs or personal beliefs, and you start having followings. They call that a cult. A cult could be good or bad. For instance, a church is a cult. No matter how you try to describe it as not being a cult, it is a cult. Religion that you join is a cult because it's more than one group of people inside a group following the same doctrines and belief, a systematic belief in what another person believes. So it becomes a cult and people start following it. So that's all a cult is. So the process is called the 8 steps of indoctrination. And I'm going to talk about each one and post it so you can actually see. So I'm going to pull it up. 8 steps of indoctrination. So the first step of indoctrination, again, this is when you a process to recruit people inside your system of doing what you want them to do. And step one is identify the potential recruit. So it says you'd expect the focus to be on troubled youngsters, but many groups target people with useful skills or access to money. Followers include soldiers, which the army is a cult, no matter how you look at it, it's a cult. Doctors and engineers. We've all heard of celebrities involved in fringe religions. People are often recruited at a time of personal stress, such as divorce, bereavement, unemployment, or depression. So basically, they catch you at your most vulnerable moment, or they see something in you where they could exploit it. And if they consider that a weakness. So it's basically how these white supremacist group recruit their people. They pick out an instance in their life that they had with a person of a different race, and then also the stuff that they see on TV, so they could use your anger and everything, and they help you accept their belief and make it seem like, oh wow, there's more people that believe like me. So they find the weakness in that. Also, another group is the Hebrew Israelites. They use young black males. They using the same doctrine as Christianity, but they claim to be the true Hebrew Israelites. So they end up recruiting. Most of them didn't graduate from high school. They dropped out. They don't have a father figure, so they have no leadership in their lives. Or they sense they get their anger towards a lot of killing towards black people, like other races like white police, and white people killing black people, and they feed upon that anger to recruit them to their environment. So what R.Kelly did was he found young girls, most of them didn't have a father figure, or they're being mistreated in their home, or they've been sexually abused already, and he used that to actually bring them in and make it seem like it's their choice to come. So once he start finding out what about them, phone calls, texts, everything, they end up establishing a form of communication with them, finding something in common. So that's step one. Step two is persuade the recruit to walk into the web. So almost like a spider, you bringing them in, you making it seem like it's not harmful and everything. So it mean what this means is it may seem innocent, a self-help group, a retreat, relationship therapy, church, a business meeting, or evening class. Increasingly, groups use the internet. People are indoctrinated without leaving their bedroom. So basically, a phone call, a text, FaceTiming with somebody, basically showing that, oh, I'm innocent and I just want to establish a communication with you and talk to you and become your friend. So basically, you just trying to bring them in. It's like a car salesman. They give you all the nice details about the car. Be like, oh, it looks shiny on the outside. It has all these amenities up in it. And that's when they draw you in and be like, that seems like it's pretty good and I would look good writing in that. Same thing. He enticed them by talking to them, becoming a friend, and actually wanting to be a part of their lives and come in innocent, saying that, oh, I'm just here to help. I'm just helping you out, taking you out of the predicament that you in, just to help. These are the same methods that pimps use when they're talking to their prostitute or whatever. So step three is the love bombing. And that means a cascade of affection, support, overall poured over the recruit. A woman born into David Berg's Children of God recalled this technique as a wave of peace and love. Berg organization was also notorious for its use of flirty fishing, a form of evangelistic prostitution. So basically, step three, the love bomb, is when you're showering them with gifts and giving them almost anything that they ask for: money, cars, clothes, which a lot of these females start getting. They got money, cars, clothes, um, money to pay off their bills if they had any bills, or if they was young and they didn't have any bills and their parents weren't providing for them, like the new Jordans or shoes, clothes, whatever, fancy stuff, just to reel them in, showering with a whole bunch of gifts. That's the same thing a pimp does. That's the same thing a church does. They shower you with gifts as far as, oh, you have a family now. You can talk to us about anything. God loves you. Jesus loves you. And stuff like that. It's basically making them feel so secure about their environment that they like, wow, these people actually do love me. So these women associate materialistic things and they use that as a form of affection and love. So again, it's psychology. If you constantly giving a person something, they gonna automatically think that you actually love them for you to be buying them these items. So the step 4 is sell, 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 and that's basically the recruit must see smiling, friendly, happy people, a living advertisement. Invite them to come along again and again until they're a part of the family. So basically, from the documentary, if you watch the documentary on Lifetime Surviving R.Kelly, most of these women basically describe that he started taking me to different concerts and flying me over plane in planes to go to his concerts or his house and stuff like that. So basically, he's seeing that recruit is seeing everyone around them acting friendly and happy, and they like, wow, these people seem happy around them. So, it's like we were a big family. So again, church, you see the family and you see them all happy when you go up in there and be like, wow, these people are happy. So there must be a change in their life that's making them happy. Same thing with R. Kelly. The so-called victims, they saw all these other girls being happy and receiving stuff from them, and once they saw that, they was like, wow, these people are tight knit. I think I want to be a part of them. So step 5 is tough love. So we all know what tough love is. When a parent discipline you, but they tell you after they finish whooping you that I love you. I only did it because I love you. That's basically tough love. So normally when you have tough love, it states step 5 is tougher. The gloves start to come off. Induce dependency, meaning that um, you're not independent anymore. You're relying on them. You have members may be deprived of sleep or food, which apparently throughout the documentary you heard that they was deprived of sleep and food, giving exhausting tasks, kept away from their usual support system, meaning that the family, your real friends and family, you're not allowed to go around them anymore. And once you're not allowed to go around them anymore, you just basically secluded to that one area. Rigid rules and rituals may be introduced. So basically, they saying that if you have to follow these rules if you want to be a part of this family. So if you don't follow the rules, there will be discipline, almost like you raising a child. If you're going to live up under my roof, you got to obey my rules. Basically, that's all that is. So basically, tough love. Now, at the same time, rewards are offered. So if you follow the rules and everything, you would get rewarded for your behavior. Same thing with a kid. If you get good grades in school, most likely your parents will reward you. Rest, love, comfort, and they consider this method the carrot on the stick. So basically, I know y'all seen that commercial when they had the dollar bill and an old man, and he was like, "You almost got it. You almost got it. Too slow. Almost got it." That's exactly what That is, the carrot on a stick. Some groups use meditation, mind numbing chanting, euphoric music, or dancing at this stage. So basically, R. Kelly used his voice to serenade them to actually uh, get them into the mode. So he basically used his voice, used sex, because a lot of people like sex. So, you know, that gets them in the mode. For y'all don't know, sex can be considered a form of meditation. So, sleep and food deprivation, coupled with rigid rules, helps to break down a person's sense of self. So, if you're incorporating all that into one, it's you basically making them feel more insecure about themselves. So they become more reliant on you. So if they say that he was beat beating them. Well, one said that he was beating them, which is, again, I don't believe. But they said that he would deprive them of food and sleep and everything, so they became more reliant on his ability to provide for them. So it's almost like when you're have a kid or a dog. A dog would be a more perfect example. It's basically, if you see your dog acting up, you spank them, and sometimes a person would deny them food. So it start breaking down that dog's self-esteem as, man, if I do this again, I won't get no food. So they were like, okay, I'll just be good so I get the food and the water and I'll be good. Same thing with humans. If you deprive them so long of something and restrict them from a whole bunch of stuff, they will feel less confident in themselves. So, step 6 is renouncing loved ones. So, this is when they persuade your recruit to renounce family, friends, anyone who offers a reality check. The more isolated a person, the more likely they are to invest in the new belief system, which brings us to the seventh step. So basically, this step is basically you can't talk to nobody unless I allow you to talk to that person. So basically, let's go to the church metaphor again. If you're in church, a lot of churches, if they see you hanging around somebody who don't believe in that system and everything, they would demonize the other person and say that shouldn't be talking to that person because that person is considered evil or that person studies something else. For instance, my sister was involved in a church, a regular church, and she wanted me to talk to her pastor. So I started questioning his ability his knowledge about the Bible and everything, and started breaking down the Bible to him as far as it's just literal and I mean metaphorical and not literal. So once I started breaking it down to him and everything and telling him stuff that he didn't know about history and the history of the Bible, he basically told my sister friend and my sister not to talk to me at all, and that basically telling them that I wasn't of God. So, um, once she recognized that he wasn't good for their mentality and everything, she finally left that church. But basically, he tried to demonize me, and so I won't talk to them at all. So basically, he tried to seclude them from me so they wouldn't learn anything. So basically, a lot of Christians, they don't want to accept the reality check that their religion is false. Same thing with other religions also. So um, I was like, once they people like that start talking to you, they try to separate you from that environment so you won't be able to influence them and get them out of that predicament. So that's why they separate you from your people or people who would support you because they don't want you relying on nobody else but them. So, step 7, the introduction of core beliefs. So, of course, y'all heard of Charles Manson. Charles Manson had a cult, and he was also a singer, also. So, Charles Manson was said to be giving his followers large doses of LSD. And one described how each acid trip took her further and further away from reality until she could believe anything at all. Some groups asked their members to wait for years before they learned the entire creed. By then, they'll have invested heavily in the organization and will be immersed in its magical thinking. So basically, it's a form of drug. And LSD, as you know, is a drug that quickly influence you to follow certain stuff. And it's almost like brainwashing through drugs make you more acceptable to believe whatever. But a lot of things, people don't have to use drugs to actually do it. They could actually use themselves. Um, Sex is a drug. It releases a lot of chemicals in your body, and it, as y'all probably know, it seduces a lot of men to do crazy stuff. It seduces a lot of women to do crazy stuff. So, yes, sex is a drug. So he used sex as a substitute for the drug. So basically, sex could actually confuse somebody's feelings and making it think that they love you when they actually don't, and it could be just sex. That's why you see a lot of men going crazy over sex when they having sex with a female, and they start getting psychotic and controlling and everything. Or a woman, they start going crazy and everything because they can't balance their emotions. So it becomes a drug to them. And that's why they can't get away from that person, because they be like, man, the sex so good, I don't want to leave. And he loves me. And they confuse love for lust. So, yes, sex is a drug. So, the final step is step 8, and it's zero tolerance of criticism. So, the final step is vital. Shame anyone who questions shun any who leave. So basically, if you were to leave church, they will shun you and everything. A lot of churches will shun you for leaving that church and leaving that cult where, oh, we gave you all of this and you just gonna leave? Basically, that's exactly what R. Kelly did. Um, Basically, step 8, and be like, okay, nobody's gonna believe you if these stories are true, because a lot of them did it for the money. But basically, you're gonna get shunned if you leave. Continuing control relies on absolute obedience and members being afraid to leave. So it's like when you're in a bad relationship and you getting beat on by your man, but you don't want to leave. Even though you have all these people saying, man, you should leave. You getting hurt. You need to go. But they're like, no, I don't want to go. And everything. So um, they become afraid to leave because they don't have a support system. They believe that they don't have a support system. Nobody will support them financially or love them like that person supposedly loved them. So it says, I once spoke to the mother of a young man who had joined a destructive community in England. She described her joy when he phoned and asked her to come and get him, and her horror at his disappearance. Then, very thin and nervy, like shaking all the time. His shaved head, afraid to eat because it was against the rules. He disappeared during the first night, rushing back to the life he'd fled from. So basically, they come, think they want to get away. Once they get away and everything and can't adjust to society, same thing like a prisoner when they locked up in jail and finally released. They can't adjust to the environment that they live in because they've been institutionalized by the system. So once you're in the system and secluded from everyone else, it makes it hard to adjust when you're on the outside. So they end up wanting to go back to where they felt like everything was in control and safe for them. So they become afraid to leave. So that was this 8 steps of indoctrination. So those same methods that R. Kelly used for these females. So this same method that people fall into every day with religion, with work, or the government, armies, everything. It's the same thing. So R. Kelly just used this method. It's no voodoo. It's no magical thing where wave a magic wand and oh, that person is gone. No, no. It's psychological. So stop it with the insane videos. No, it's not voodoo. He's not using P as a device to control people. No, it's a mental thing. Sorry, Layla Lynn. Uh, Sorry to debunk your theory that you got from the anonymous book of somebody who supposedly was in the R. Kelly cult. So Basically, if you like this video and if you'd like to see more, put in a comment below, like and subscribe to this channel, Malice Intent.